Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered just did the impossible, absolutely blowing doors out of the Steam charts right now. And as of recording, we are approaching 175,000 players concurrently on Steam right now within about 8 hours of the game launching on a Tuesday morning, which is also a game that is day one Game Pass. Weird how some games can succeed in multiple places. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I gotta be honest right off the bat here. This is no way, no how, anywhere close to what I thought it was going to be. I expected maybe we'd see like 25, 35,000 people picking this game up on SteamDB and the rest going to Game Pass. We are now getting closer to 200,000 players concurrently on launch day, just a few hours after a shadow drop. So suffice it to say, this game did all right, though it's not without a few things that are extremely questionable. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down how Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is completely shocking the world right now and blowing people away with fantastic remade experiences. Even though they say it's a remaster, much of this game, if not all, is rebuilt from the ground up in the Unreal Engine, and people are having their minds blown. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered launch is not just the secret that everyone expected, but also beyond the basic success, it is a full-blown phenomenon. Within 5 hours of the release and via SteamDB, the game has already rocketed past 160,000 concurrent players on Steam, and as of recording the video just a few short hours after that, we're seeing it approaching 170 plus thousand concurrent players and still going up, proving that a well-made product will always sell well, even with having it on day one access with Xbox Game Pass. All of this is flying directly in the face of that tired narrative that defenders of slop say that Game Pass kills PC game sales, and you shouldn't look at SteamDB for how many people are playing a game when it's on Game Pass, because that skews the numbers. I'm looking at you, South of Midnight, which currently on SteamDB has 502 players and an all-time concurrent player count of 1,438. And sure, people were looking at South of Midnight like, oh yeah, that game is on Game Pass, so that's why it's not doing very well over on Steam. Yeah, that's why everyone's over on Game Pass. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft doing the same thing with Ubisoft Plus and saying, yeah, we'd have more people over on Steam if we didn't have our own launcher with Ubisoft, so that's why we don't have many players over there. But in reality, this game, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, is completely blowing that theory out of the water. If anything, this situation right here proves to everyone that when you give gamers a reason to support your game, they will show up, and in full force. A lovingly rebuilt classic like this one, yeah, wow, that is surely a buying proposition that a lot of people are getting behind. But like I said at the beginning, not all rainbows and butterflies. There are certain drawbacks to this remaster that obviously people are taking issue with. The main one being the Type A, Type B, or in this case, Type 1 and Type 2 body character creator instead of, I don't know, call me old school, male and female. For some reason, they had to change what they used to have in this from male and female to Type 1 and Type 2. And I know the same argument always takes place here when we bring this up. It's not a big deal. Why do you even care? Just pick one and play it. It doesn't change the game experience, which honestly, I kind of agree. It doesn't really do much to the overall game experience, which brings me back to the point of, if it's not a big deal, why did they change it in the first place? Stop doing this, because when I look at it like the way it is, it clearly strikes me as an ideology being pushed like a tiny little snowball at the top of a mountain, trying to create an avalanche of ideology. But regardless, moving past that, if I'm even able to, what Oblivion Remastered gets right is almost everything else. While the name may suggest it's a simple upscale, this here is instead a full-blown remake in Unreal Engine 5 by developer Virtuous. Yeah, that same developer that I spoke of previously where the leaks of the announcement were stemming from. Every single asset in this game has been rebuilt from scratch. The lighting and shadows appear far more realistic now, and the facial animations, especially the lip syncing, have seen a massive upgrade, adding to the immersion like never before. And honestly, my initial reactions, those of you might recall when I talked about the leak initially, was to not be as excited as I wanted to. I wanted to hold myself back a little bit for this one because honestly, I saw the pictures and I'm like, I don't really know. But then we saw the official unveiling of this with the video and the masterful job they've done with it. And it just looks great. It does. I can't lie. When I see it, it's like, yeah, damn. They did a bang up job on this. Props where it's due. They crushed it.
We wanted to make the remaster more friendly to gamers with modern hardware. This is Oblivion in its most complete form.
On top of the graphics and what it looks like, the gameplay situations have also been reworked. The UI, audio, and leveling systems have all been modernized with what Bethesda has been calling the best of both worlds from Skyrim and Oblivion. Then we have the changes to the encumbrance, the non-combat perks, and several other quality of life mechanics that have been fixed and updated. And get this, sprinting is finally in the game alongside much improved third-person camera, reworked heads-up display and menus, revamped persuasion mechanics, and a better map system. But underneath all that new tech is still the game that fans fell in love with nearly, 19 years ago now. It's still there, and launching alongside the Standard Edition is the Oblivion Remastered Deluxe Edition, which includes exclusive quests, armor, weapons, and of course, the horse armor, because of course they're gonna add that DLC again, the digital art book, and the full soundtrack. For fans of the franchise, I would say this edition sounds more like a no-brainer than anything else. For those who are super excited about it, as far as I'm concerned with it, this is a game that I played a tiny bit of back in the day and always wanted to spend more time in it and just wasn't able to get the time together to play it. So now I see this one coming out and I'm like, good, I'm glad I waited. Now I can play this one. If I can find the time to get together and actually play it and push all the other games aside that I have waiting to be played right now. Like, holy crap, is this not the best time to be alive to be a gamer? And at the same time, a terrible time to be an adult and have to have responsibilities. Between trying to find time for Schedule 1, while at the same time trying to get to start playing RoboCop and waiting to be playing the Warhammer game, on top of a slew of other games, it's like, holy crap. These games are awesome games. I know they are. I'm very excited to be playing all of them. Very trustworthy people have told me they are excellent experiences. It's just a matter of finding the time to get to play them. That's why when we get this Oblivion shadow dropped, I'm like, yay. Like, on top of this game coming out right now, I had plans to try to get to Expedition 33, but now this is coming out while I also have the backlog of the other games to try to be getting to. And all this being put at a time during the Nintendo Switch 2 trying to carve out a niche for itself and charging $80 for games. Good luck with that one, Nintendo. And like I referenced in my previous video talking about this, those of you who remember the leaked document from the FTC Bethesda being sold to Microsoft document, 2023, they showcased how they had this game on the docket to be releasing. For some reason, it had been delayed up until this point. It was supposed to come out in fiscal year 24. It is now coming out in 2025. But wow, from what I've seen so far, it was worth the wait, and did this game ever deliver? With this release now setting a standard, the rumored Fallout 3 Remastered and new Dishonored entry might have some massive shoes to fill, on top of many other game leaks from that document that came out back then. But in due time, because geez, we still have Expedition 33 coming out in like a couple of days, on top of a gigantic backlog of games that I'm trying my best to get to right now. It's a wealth of amazing content to be playing, and what a time to be alive to be a gamer. And yeah, I'll complain all day about the first world problems of not enough time and too many games. I'd rather take that than the opposite. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried this game or if you plan on picking it up, or if you're going to wait for a sale, or if you just don't care about it in general. I am very interested to see what the overall sentiment is for this, because holy crap, after looking at that SteamDB, I'm like, who is not playing this game right now? If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Oblivion is the beginning of who I am as an individual, as a game developer. It all starts with this.
Oh, never mind. I think I found out where the Type 1 and Type 2 came from now.
Yeah, there are still quite a few people that I've worked with for that long, and it sort of gave me the warm fuzzies.
Smash MJ,